What is good, everybody? Today, a little bit of a shorter guide, most likely. I'm just going to be making a more advanced overview of Bang in BBCF. Let me turn on my game volume a little bit, sorry. So, the script for this one is going to be non-existent. I'm just going to talk over some points that I think a lot of people miss. Some things that I see aspiring Bang players really struggle with. But they're going to be more in-depth than my other guide, which kind of just is a big basic overview. This is going to be like a semi-advanced guide. I'll go ahead and start us off. I'll start off with neutral ideas that I think that people don't really use properly. So let me start out with saying I think B-Nail is very underrated by most Bang players. The thing with Bang's neutral is he's not really a rushdown character in a traditional sense if he runs at you and just gets in like Naruto or something, like a more traditional rushdown character who like just fucking uses their speed to get in. He's much more about area denial and amazing area coverage and like almost boxing you off so that he can provide himself a path to get in. Bang is like, Bang if he had infinite nails would be the best zoner, and that's just what he would do. But he basically uses his zoning capabilities and his amazing ability to zone to control the screen and allow him opportunities to just get himself in when his opponent's trying to play against him. So a lot of people just play like dashing at people doing this shit, which has a lot of counterplay and can be dealt with pretty easily. So one of the more effective ways to approach nail usage is just using them to cover yourself. In a lot of situations, being like super unaggressive, just using your speed to maneuver around and kind of gauge situations is really good. Kind of just keep yourself out of harm's way and keep your opponent out of situations where they can punish your movement patterns when you're not just trying to get in. And then to get into more specifics of like what you should be using Bang's buttons for in specific situations, I would say on the ground, 5B is a pretty good button. The only downside to this button is it has a lot of whiff recovery for being what it is. Like I'll hold up, I couldn't jump till then, it's a lot. And then it also has a low actives, so those two things combined make it not fantastic, but the speed is good and the hitbox on it is good. So if your placement with it is good, it's a good normal. It also does a fuck ton of damage on hit, so that's always nice to have and factor in. This 2B is also pretty decent. This 2B is kind of like a shitty Ragna 5B. It extends and it retracts, relatively disjointed at the tip. Can be used as an anti-air in some situations. So I'm not ass like that. It'll trade on like counter hits a lot of the time, or just win outright because it's broken into like 5k if you do your combos correctly. As far as the grounded buttons go, that's kind of it. You don't really use too much else besides 3C is decent. At tipper spacing, it can be good to just kind of prod people with. Provide an extra jump scare option in neutral. You have the meter. It can be a decent like whiff punish option outside of the mid range. Like Ragna presses 5B at this range or like 5C or whatever. You do that shit. You do like 4.5k, put him in the corner. Drives obviously have their uses. Predictionary 5D as a counter poke in neutral can be pretty solid. And I mean, even if they block it, you have your cancel into fire punch. So it's not the end of the world to like be wrong with 5D. So you can just make yourself safe anyways. All those other drives aren't great. 2D is like, it goes nowhere, so it doesn't really have the same use case. You can kind of use it as an anti-air sometimes, but we'll go more into the air game momentarily. Normally you just don't want to be in situations where you have to anti-air his Bang, because anti-air kind of sucks. As far as the ground game goes, that's mostly it. As we get into the air game, though, this is where you need to start properly leveraging Bang's offensive tools, and like, not offensive, his neutral toolkit. So, Bang's JB is really fucking big. Let me turn on the hitbox viewer real quick. It's really big, and it's disjointed at the tip. You can kind of use this like a shitty... It's not shitty, it's a good normal. It's like a marginally worse Jin JC. You can poke with it and use it in the fashion that you would use Jin's button. But Bang also is fast as fuck, so you can leverage it in different ways. Like that would have, if that was on hit, that would give a full combo. So that button's good. Let me just turn on the hitbox viewer for everything. So 2B, good obviously. You can see the disjoint at the tip. 5B, pretty solid. 3C is disjoint at the tip. And going into the rest of the things, so Bang's J is solid. If I can time it right. It's a 7-framer, which is like average for JAs, and I mean it's just big. It's just big and disjointed. You can... There is some J's that will cook you, like Ragna J is just better. And a few other characters have really strong ones that'll normally win out, but Bang's J is pretty good for just contesting neutral spacings, and just, since it self-chains, the back and forth, do stuff like that. Pretty strong, does like 4.5k with proper confirms. Bang's JC is amazing. I'll do it low to the ground too. We can see the upper hitbox. So the initial hitbox is really good. And then as it travels, it gets a little bit worse, but it's still a really strong button overall. It's really good. Let me set them to do this. It's amazing as a rising air button in this fashion. It's high reward too. Like, I'll set them to be here. Oh my god, my character sucks. Oh wait, this button's trash. But yeah, it does a lot of damage. Is a really good disjoint for the angle that it covers. On counter hit, it's an insanely big counter hit, so you can just like get combos for free off this shit. Like this is 4.2k. It's a really scary button to just leverage and threaten with in neutral. Let me set them to do that. Another really good thing about JC is, well, all of his buttons are double jump cancelable, so you can use his JC to do the thing that I displayed earlier where you jail him to the ground off stuff, except you can just do it off whatever. Like if you do rising JC, you can always jail your opponent to the ground because you can just IAD over and then continue your string. You can also do shit like, oh my god, bro. That's really strong. You can like TRM people in the same fashion. Bang just has good options for the air game, and then since you have all these strong options to make them scared to press whenever they are scared to press in the air, just rising air command grab them. Full combo from there. I obviously already talked about nail usage, but I'll talk about J4B. So J4B is pretty solid because it's disjointed at the tip, which... Let me get a better jump. It's pretty disjointed at the tip. You can see it clearly there. It'll clash with a lot of anti-airs in a lot of situations because of how disjointed it is with like really strong spacing. So you should try to abuse it as an anti-air in situations where you don't want to burn nails. And his traditional jump-in button is J2C, which isn't amazing, but it functions. You can use it in situations where you have to. You shouldn't be scared to use this button, but don't rely on it too hard. I would say what you should be looking to do in neutral is bang. Like I said before, kind of zone. You like pseudo zone and create opportunities for yourself, but I mean, since he's so fast and so good at tracking his opponent and is so good at like converting air-to-air scrambles into either damage or like positive offensive situations, you want to play bang to avoid the ground game as much as possible, and force your opponent to meet you in the air, and then in the air you want to just fish for hits because your hits are really high reward, whereas most characters are not in that area, and kind of just force footsies in the air and play around that. Just abuse his speed all around too. And obviously if they wisen up and decide to not play the air game with you, then you get to abuse nails as anti-airs and just get in for free from that point. The game is definitely about forcing them to deal with you in the air by meeting you in the air. And then whenever they get frustrated of losing the air-to-air exchanges, they try to deal with you from the ground, and then you appropriately switch up your angles of attack to start dealing with anti-airs and shit, and just cook them with nails, because nails are really strong. I'll go ahead and turn that off. I'll put us to Bang's offense. So this is the other thing I wanted to talk about for this character, or the other big thing. We'll go over defense and some resource economy stuff in a little bit. But his offense is very underutilized by people, I would say. Bang, when played correctly, is one of the stickiest characters in the game, unless you have a DP. Bang's pressure against like non-DP characters is some of the most obnoxious, most difficult to escape pressure in the game because of how many points he has to just continually RPS and how many pressure reset options he has. So let's just go over like the buttons that you should be using and how you should be structuring things before I go into I guess set play stuff with like bumper and B-nail and umbrella and shit. So first off, Bang's 5A is -1, and it's 6 frame startup. So this means that 5A into 5A is a 7 frame gap. So this will trade with, this will trade with average like up RA jabs in this video game, which is really, really good for Bang. He doesn't have a high attack level jab, so he doesn't get trade combos, but he has a better scramble tool than like anyone else. So I don't think there's a way for me to display this very well, but like, imagine you're doing 5A staggers and Ragna mashes 2A and you trade with him. In that situation, his best option after that situation is to either mash 5A or 2A, which, I mean, if you mash 5A again, you'll win, but if he mashes 5A, you lose because it's a 5 frame, whatever. But the thing with Bang is he has 5D, which in those situations, we'll just do this with Lychee because it'll work. Oh, that was 6D. Alright, let's do... that should work. Alright, Lychee's broken. You get the idea. 5D is really strong in this RPS. You can obviously also do the teleport follow-up, because some characters do have strong options to beat out 5D. Like, some characters have good Gatlings. Like Izanami, for example, is really, really good at beating 5D when she triggers it. Versus them, you kind of have to do delay teleport to cook their staggers in that fashion. But anyways, tangent about 5D and scramble situations aside, Bang's pressure structure is built around 5A being able to just infinitely chain into itself with an annoying ass RPS situation, and 6A. So Bang's frame advantage on all of his normals except for his A buttons is pretty shit. 5B really minus, 2C really minus, 3C obviously giga minus, 2B super minus. All these buttons have bad frame data, but Bang kind of holds his pressure together with 6A, because the thing with, not even just 6A, just his Gatlings in general, because Bang has reverse beats, whereas most characters don't. Like, let me... I can do shit like that. You just keep his strings going because of all his reverse speed options. So when pressuring people as Bang, kind of just want to layer your frame trap game in a way that makes it really scary to mash, because Bang will just, if you counter hit someone as Bang, they're eating like 5k, like they just fucking die. Counter hit 5B, clean 5k. Counter hit 2B, clean 5k. Counter hit 5C, like 5.5. Counter hit fucking 6A, it's like 4k. This character will murder you for mashing against him. And then like I mentioned before, his air buttons are phenomenal for catching people above him. So against fuzzy jumps, you literally just reactively fucking tag them, then jail them back to the ground and force them into the same situation, or reactive rising command grab, do whatever, it doesn't matter. So Bang staggers, you rotate this shit. You rotate the 6As and the 5As, and just continually run staggers, and then whenever people start to respect you, you get to start the party, so to say. Bang's strike throw is really good because of the way he structures his jab staggers. That kind of shit's really hard to tech. I fucked it up, but you get the idea. That shit's hard to tech. He has a command grab, which can be tick thrown off of a lot of normals, a lot more than you'd think. Like 5B, 5C, double 2A if with death momentum. And obviously just RC whenever, and then do command grab. You kind of just structure your pressure. Your layer 1 should be around making people respect your stagger game and staying in with fucking 6A reverse beats, and then going for command grab. And then as you get people to respect you, you can layer in, I mean obviously 5C is goated. 5C is let me set them to crouch. So if they block 5C at the last moment, it's only -2. Pretty good button. It's jump cancelable, so obviously you can always fucking jump into other shit. Jump into J4B. Jump into whatever. This is something I'll go over more in a minute, but like jump into nails, obviously phenomenal pressure reset. Super hard to contest, super hard to deal with. Gatling's into 6A, so that's another thing that's really strong. This is an easy IB, but the thing is, 6A reverse beats back into 5B. You get to continue the RPS, so like I'm +1 again. Really hard to deal with. Super ambiguous like mash situations, because obviously I can just continue the string. They get hit by that 2C, they eat 5k. Kind of just keep your pressure with the threat of big damage counter hits, and then obviously he also has, like I mentioned before, nails are phenomenal. Shit's really fucking good. You can do shit like this too. Not off of ass. That shit's really strong. Oh my god, bro. So like that's really good. J22A is fantastic pressure reset. As you see, it's +6, so whenever you know you have enough respect from your opponent to do it, just do it. The gap is only 7 frames, as you see, so you can't really mash on it successfully without like IBing. On better normals, the gap is even smaller, so off 5C it should be 5 frames. Yeah, like you can't mash on this. If you're Ragna, like this will trade, which is kind of a shit trade. Especially since he can do this, and he should get a combo after the trade. So basically just threaten your staggers for fucking forever. Just literally stick to them infinitely. Just counter hit the shit out of them with that. They start IBing your normals. You go, okay, you want to IB 6A? Do delay 5B. Counter hit the shit out of them. They just exploded. They literally just died. Entire health bar is gone. And then, like I said, once you get respect, you sneak in your J22As, you sneak in your 5Cs, your 6Bs, command grabs, your normal grabs, etc., etc. And Bang gets great reward of like all of this, barring 6B, but 6B is pretty good anyways. Speaking of 6B, 6B is only -1. So since your jab is 6 frames against 7 frame jab characters, you can just mash and take the trade and then take the favorable trade situation like I mentioned before. You can normally fuck off because you're only -1. They can't really like successfully catch your jump here unless they hard commit to something. And you can also just do this if you want to be an asshole. So this is pretty risky. I don't really recommend it unless you just have the hard read and you know what they want to do. Versus an instant barrier, Bang suffers a lot from pushback. So what you have to do against instant barrier is pretty much just keep up the jab staggers in this fashion. Just have to expend your resources to continue to pull your bag back in. I'll go over some corner specific offensive stuff as far as regular pressure goes too real quick. So Bang's crush trigger is really good, especially because 2B pushes him forward, so he can do it from like really far spacings and still get a good combo. Like, I'm like a character's distance away, and yet I still get a full throw combo. And also, since Poison Nail ignores damage scaling, Bang gets like the highest crush trigger reward in the game off standard crush triggers. That's like a solid 3.4 off crush trigger, which is really fucking good. You can do that off 5D is the same, where it carries him forward. So you can abuse that really well. Crush trigger being 0 on barrier, and Bang having a 6 frame jab basically makes him +1, just because of how the game works. You can abuse that fact pretty frequently. Just use it as like a fucking ghetto pressure reset if you feel like it. That's mostly it though. D-Nail's a little better in the corner just because it obviously bounces off the wall, so you can do shit like that to control your spacings and stay in. I'll go over some Oki. Oh, I don't want that. So this will meaty. This will also catch both back and forward roll. You can just do that shit. If people roll, they get smoked. If they stand up, they have to hold the empty low. And then once they respect you, you can just start doing this shit. And obviously just land and throw or land and command grab, whatever. That's really strong. So his blue beat game is also phenomenal off of 3C. The thing with 3C is you check with blue beat, or you check with 2A to blue beat, and if you do blue beat, let me just set them to not wake up. I suck, my bad chat. You get the idea. Lychee's heart box is so fucking annoying. I can't do combos either, that doesn't help. But you just get like full screen corner carry off blue beats. Which is really fucking good, obviously. Like, it doesn't really need any explanation for why it's so good. What you can also get, you can get all your seals. Or it's dependent on matchup. Some characters don't have the hurt box for this, but you can always get at least 3 for like 1 nail spent, which is super fucking worth. Always go for that. The same off command grab. Command grab situation is exactly the same. Can also get 4 seals, same combo, same shit. Oh, you can do this too. I'm stupid as fuck, bro. That's a nice little side swap that you can do into both those situations too. So as far as like mid-screen Oki goes, that's kind of what you do. Once you get people to start respecting you on both of those two things, they stop rolling or quick rising or doing whatever, then you can always just safe jump, which I fucked it up there, but this will safe jump 9 frame DPs. It'll safe jump anything except for 7 frame reversal supers. Super good Oki. Shit's amazing. And then obviously like block switching disabled. Do this. You're plus enough that it's gapless on regular block, which is nice because they can't DP. Not if I'm bad. Like no gap there. You love to see it. So you can do that. You can obviously do meaty command grab. Force a true 50-50 on their wake up. Against backdashes and shit, you can obviously just 2B. Because 2B's 5 frames active, you can catch a lot of those. So versus like backdash or lambda 2-2D or like anything of that nature, you can just do a slightly delayed 2B, make it hit like 3 frames after they wake up and just catch all their shit and cook them. Sorry, gonna grab some water. You can, of course, just meaty with jabs. Bang's jabs are good. Both Bang's 5A and his 2A are 3 frames active, so it's not even that hard to catch backdashes with them. Like you can do like a slightly delayed jab to have it hit like frame 4 or frame 5 of something, and it'll catch a backdash, and then you get like a full combo, and Bang's combo game off air hits. Bang's combo game off fucking anything is absurd. Make sure, like a random little tidbit that doesn't really pertain to the current topic at hand, but optimize the shit out of this character. This character's damage is fucking ridiculous. This character's damage is what makes him good. If you're not doing like big damage on Bang, there's no point to be playing the character, because like his strength is the fact that he has such a good risk reward because his damage is so fucking high, and you need to leverage that. But going back to offense and Oki, that's basically it. There's not too much more to cover. Like you can obviously meaty with this shit. You can meaty with like 6B if you think it's gonna hit and you want to go for the mix. A regular throw. He doesn't have too much like crazy tricky stuff without set play. But as we get into set play, I will start with, well, let me start with mid screen. So mid screen, Bang's set play options aren't amazing. He gets like budget Azrael cross-ups with bumper dashes. They're okay. They're not anything super special, but there's something to keep in mind and something you can try to gimmick people with sometimes. He has some funny goofy shit like this. If I can do it. You can set bumpers like TK'd and do shit like this. Let me, like, yeah, that was a super fast cross-up blow in that fashion. Shit's hard to block. That stuff is pretty fake. It can definitely catch people when they respect you, but it's kind of obvious whenever you're setting a bumper like that that you're going to try to gimmick them. So I wouldn't recommend spinning your nails that way most of the time. But what is real is in the corner, Bang has... For when he has B-Nail, which B-Nail's goated. provides hit stun, and then it also provides like visual clutter, which you can't see shit there. Let me time this better. Like, I'm pressing 5C here, you cannot see what I'm fucking doing. If you're my opponent, this isn't a true 50-50, because, like, you can kind of see what he's doing. You can, like, learn the animations really well, but, like, just your baseline mix-ups in this situation are really hard to deal with, because, like, you can't fucking see him. Like, I'll do... like 6B here, also a pretty decent example where it's difficult to tell what he's doing. And then in this situation, what I normally like to do is if I want to go for a low option, I just do 6A. And like, it's not a 50-50, to call it that is disingenuous, but it is a really annoying situation to block out. And like, regardless of what you do, you keep your turn, so it's a pretty strong thing overall. There are double B-nail setups like this, where you can do the exact same shit, just better, basically. I mean, shit, in this situation, what you can actually do is set up a mix-up like that, and they can't really fuck with it, and that shit's pretty good. Ignoring, or moving past B-nail, since B-nail is like relatively straightforward. I'll say this as well. Since the hit can be delayed to not be meaty, you can do shit like this and command grab them, and that's a really cheap command grab. But like now moving actually past it, this is bumper, so bumper is fucking goated. Why'd I do that? So bumper is effectively just a free rapid cancel. Let me move my frame data counter over here. +4. 0. Plus a fucking quadrillion. Command grab, RC, essentially, into like 4K. 6B, basically RC. I think 6B is also like +16. Yeah, +16. Double overheads for days. 50-50 situation. Tick command grabs off fucking anything. Dude, gigantic crush trigger confirms. Like, let me properly demonstrate this shit. That was like 4.1 off a fucking crush trigger. That is, like, hands down some of the best reward off that mechanic in the game. Bing abuses it really fucking well. Yeah, bumper's just really good. So you have that bumper set, which... there are two primary bumper sets in the corner. There's that one, that is the spaced one. And that one gives you worse pressure in exchange for crush trigger conversions, and we can convert off crush trigger off this one too. It's just different, but it gives you command grab combos. It gives you 6B combos. So on the bumper that's too close like this, you can combo off command grab, but the combos aren't quite as good. But the bumper further gives you really fucking good combos, and you can just farm that shit. Just do it over and over and over. But yeah, the closer bumper, the way that you should think about this one is you're close enough that the bumper's close enough to them that you can abuse pushback to get yourself out of bumper range, and then just continually like stick the fuck to them like glue. And just like threaten the bumper cancel. But you don't actually have to use it. The difference is like this one better confirms and scarier mix-up situations, kind of, because the conversions off them are better. But this one is like better pressure. because you're far enough that you can use J22A and use your command normals without accidentally getting bumper, so you can just fucking like stick to them permanently. Like you can do 30-second long pressure sequences with this shit. And they kind of just have to look at you and just pray that you fuck up or something. You get the idea. That stuff's really strong. So there are those two things for bumper. You have some gimmick bumpers like oh my god, my inputs today are so dog shit. It is insane. I'm actually tweaking, bro. You have this bumper. If someone has really good reactions and you want to gimmick them, you can do this. Well, it's not even a gimmick. That's a pretty real mix-up. Not the 5C, but the down dash 2A. This stuff's pretty good. I don't really use it too much personally, but if you fuck with it, you fuck with it. Definitely not a bad option to use. This bumper can be good because the command grab combo does like 5k, so if you want to set it there, it doesn't provide the same like continual pressure as the other bumpers do, but it's just like, hey, since I have this bumper right here in this spot on the screen, I can just fucking kill you. So be scared of my command grab, and then you can just do like stupid shit like that and kill them for trying to fuzzy jump your grab. But yeah, that's basically the end of bumper offense. Bumper offense is really just like free RCs and makes his regular options more threatening. It gives him extra pressure resets. But he already had great pressure resets, so like, you're just eating basically. And obviously the 6B 50/50s are sick. You kind of need those sometimes for really strong players. And his last set play tool, Umbrella. So Umbrella is really slept on. The thing with Umbrella is you can meaty with it, or you can meaty after you throw it. So that's a true meaty. Like you can't do shit about that. It also will cover rolls, which is fucking sick. Not if I'm bad. Light Cheese Hurtbox is annoying for this, but like you get the idea. You can cover rolls in that situation. The biggest drawback of Umbrella is that you have to RPS around DPs, and it doesn't do that much damage, but as a round closer, Umbrella is fucking sick. I would say the noob trap about Umbrella is most people, they set Umbrella and they just throw like 5C a few times. Don't do that shit. This shit is like puppet character level set play. Set this shit down and do your puppet IED 50/50s and just fuck them up. Shit's really good. It also takes long enough that you can command grab them. You can just command grab them on wake up, and you can also, like I showed a second ago, take command grab them before shit comes out. And that's a really fucked up situation, especially because let me do this correctly. Oh my god, bro. Sorry for all the input errors, guys. You can do it off 2A, but it kind of requires them to delay tech. But like, you can unblockable people if you time it perfectly. Like that. If they would have jumped there, they would have got their pre-jump frames hit by nails. So that shit's strong. And obviously, like, even if you don't do that, because it's kind of inconvenient and like not even inconvenient, just like kind of unrealistic to get that unblockable in a lot of situations. Take command grab into making them block bumper or Umbrella like 1 inch off the ground is still really good. You still get a shit ton of meter from the interaction. You just farm like 25 bar and make it so that you can probably RC like your next pressure sequence. Yeah, I want to say that's kind of it for Bang's offense. Another thing, just like minor random shit. I fucked up. That's a good way to just like enforce a mix-up in the middle of offense. You can also do it as a cross-up, which is really goofy. Which, like, obviously you can go low here too. Like that. Same side. Cross-up goofiness. That's pretty much it for his offense, though. The last thing that I'm going to go over... Or I have two more things to go over, rather. They kind of go hand in hand, though, so... One more drink, 1 second. So, defense for this character is a good jab, obviously. He's a decent 5v for range mashes. Kind of have to just get used to microdashing as this character a lot, and if you're gonna press on defense, you want to like 0 frame microdash your buttons into shit so you cook people. IB mash is obviously really good because he's a 6 frame character, so he can punish like -3 stuff, like Ragnar does. This, that's a true punish. So like that's strong. But then the other aspect of his defense is Bang's drive. So the 1 frame gap. So sorry, my throat's kind of fucking with me today. So here's the thing about Bang's defense. He basically has 2 drives that he uses defensively often. Oh my god, I'm stupid. So first is 60, which 60 you use as a like... It's a frame run reversal on paper, but it is very, very finicky. How Bang drives work is, at any point during the animation, you can press A, B, C, or D to teleport close, medium, or far. And then D is explosion. But explosion has a really big counter hit window gap on 6D, and it does on 5D too, just not quite as big. So you can't really use it off of 6D, but what you can do is if you do nothing, you just get hit. If you teleport too quickly, you get hit. So the RPS with Bang drives, if I'm not bad, and if my moves don't suck ass, is properly delaying your teleport to perfectly cross up your opponent's button so that they get their button on the wrong side, and then teleporting during the startup of that move and whiff punishing it. And that's how you abuse Bang's drives to their fullest potential, or at least his 6D. All of them can do that, but like his 6D is basically only used for that purpose. 5D on the other hand, it's not frame 1, it is frame 4, so you use it versus gaps and pressure that are going to be 4 frames, which I'll let you on a little secret. Any 1 frame gap, it's a natural 1 frame gap that is IB'd, becomes a 4 frame gap. So this, you see up in the top right, or top left, 1 frame for the gap counter. I'll IB this. Explosion. I can do that too, but basically the way you should leverage Bang's drives defensively is you want to fish the fuck out of IB5D. You use IB5D in the same way that Tager uses like IB360, where you try to create gaps and make your opponent scared to continue pressure on you, because... Oh my god, dude, I needed to fuck with this recording. Because you just kill them in the situations where you get it. Like 5D in the corner. Full side swap. Like a clean 3.7 on Fatal. This is literally... Let me do It's 4.8k damage. Like, explosion is incredibly threatening, and then it's plus on block too. So like, even if they make themselves safe, It's your turn. Let me make him do this. I'll just have him block. So, +8. You get to do whatever the fuck you want here. I do 5C in that situation, you can't see it. I'm hidden behind smoke. If I want to do a gapless low and catch your DP input, I can. I can do a gapless double low, because fuck you, my character can do whatever he wants. Tick command grabs for days, shit is super free. It is literally like a forced can mix-up situation for essentially getting a reversal baited, which is absurd. Explosion is like one of the best single moves in the game. You want to use it like as much as you can. You want to use IB5D as much as you can just because Explosion is so good. Besides that, his drives aren't great. JD can be decent. His anti-air bait in both of those ways where you either straight up high profile the anti-air or you hit it or it hits you and you get Explosion, but the guard point window is only like 7 frames, so you need to be super precise with it. It's not bad, but it's not amazing. And then 2D is an interesting one. It is a solid anti-air. Or no, it's not. What the fuck am I talking about? It is an anti-air that exists. The guard point starts frame 7, so it's not like bad in terms of that. But not having like a real anti-air and having to RPS around shit like this. Well, ignore my character being broken. Like where you just get a clean punish against him like this. It's not great. He can do shit like this, which is also really obnoxious. My character might be broken, man. That's what all the signs are pointing towards. Who knows? You can do shit like that to counterplay versus it. It's decent, but what it's better at is... I should have mentioned this in the offense section. It's jump cancelable. So, if you think someone's going to DP and you don't want to commit to like a hard disengage like IED back and you don't want to block it to have them take their turn off RC, just dash up in their face, 2D, say fuck you man. If they don't commit, you jump cancel, take your turn in some other way. Or you can also just do J22A because this is a 5-frame gap on regular block. My inputs don't suck, so you can't really contest it. Just do that shit. People can't really do anything about it. Well, they can. They can like Yomi throw you, but that is such a hard commitment, and they will get blown the fuck up by that. By committing to that like that. It's 23 frame startup, and throws are 7 frame startup. So like, if they do react to it, they deserved it because they were nice. Just do it a lot. It's really just like a solid option. Low mash also beats it. That's another thing to keep in mind versus like Naoto and stuff. Or like Easy-Way, it's not as good because they're like gonna press 2A anyways as a mash option. But yeah, it's pretty belligerent. It's something you can just do a decent amount and like force people to deal with it. The biggest and like scariest thing that people can do about it is they can overdrive through it, which sucks because it is just like a full ass crouching overdrive punish. You kind of eat shit in that situation. You can also backdash it and then whiff punish it, but you cross those bridges when you get there. You should use it until they start doing that kind of shit. Oh yeah, and this is like just universal BlazBlue stuff, but Bang is great at abusing fuzzy jumps because I mean he has the double air action, so you just get the fuck out. You can just leave, and since he has nails, you can make it so that you can't fuck with him as he's leaving. Just a good escape artist when it comes to like getting a little bit of space and making a lot of space with that little bit of space. Okay, I've covered drives, I've covered neutral, I covered offense, defense, sort of. I guess I'll cover overdrive. So I'll cover one more thing for neutral because I kind of forgot. So Shibugeki is super really cool. I recommend playing around getting 4 seals as early as you can, because here's the thing with Bang. So when you run out of nails, he becomes like half a character. Well, not really. His neutral is not great, but it's not unusable. His combos are very obnoxious, but they're still good. They're still higher than average damage. They're just harder. The thing is, if you unlock all 4 seals and then you run out of nails, you're not sweating, because then you're playing Bang with Shibugeki, and it's essentially like you still have a really fucked up neutral option that you can leverage. That's the way I play, as I play to get 4 seals as quickly as possible, so that even if I run out of nails, I'm still playing a character with a really belligerent neutral. I recommend doing the same, and then it's obviously a really good option defensively, because it's not impossible to punish by any stretch of the imagination, but it's really hard to punish without burning like overdrive or something. Like, typically, what happens with this move is you're playing a non-DP character, or you're playing versus a non-DP character. There's some that have like specific punishes, and that's different. You kind of got to play it matchup by matchup, but most just have to jump over it and deal with the fact that you're not going to punish you, and you get out of the corner. And DP characters have to just DP you and like take you further into the mid screen. So this move is great to just like fucking do whenever people have put you in the corner and you just want to get out. If someone's in the air and they don't have overdrive and they don't have an air DP, they're just checkmated. That you literally can't do anything about this. Your only option is having a normal out already. You can't like, you have to preempt it. You can't do it like after the flash. You have to just know when they're gonna press it and just fucking be ready. So that sucks. Very obnoxious to deal with as the person who wants to jump in neutral. But yeah, that ignored. Also get 4 seals because that buffs the shit out of overdrive, but I'm going in overdrive now, so I'll just go through that real quick. Bang overdrive. You want to leverage all of his options on defense, his drives, his mash ability, his backdash is kind of shit, but it's okay mid-screen if people aren't dealing with it properly because it takes him away so far. Use it at your own peril. It has a really long total duration, but the invuln is like 10 frames and it takes him far, so it's like, okay. And then you can leverage Wake Up Overdrive and like defensive reactionary overdrive to shit pretty frequently as Bang. Just because if you're right with Bang Overdrive, you just win the game. Like, I mean, obviously like the blocking this character situation is fucking corny, but like, if you get a true punish with this shit, they just die. Bang overdrive combos do so much damage, it is ridiculous. They're eating like bare minimum like 5 to 6k, and they're getting put in a guess for game situation right then and there. So using it like in a strong manner on defense is important in that fashion. And then just general usage for it outside of that, I kind of only use it on defense or to close rounds, but as far as round closing goes, you can do this. This situation sucks. There's no gap here. So they they go, oh shit, you fucking guard cancel into overdrive. Now I have to block this character. Not a fun time. And then outside of that, since the damage on this character is so high with his overdrive, you get to do shit like this. This is 8k. This is like clean 8k. This is like a clean 6.5. Even here, this is like a clean... I fucked up. This is like a clean 6k. You can just close rounds and like just kill people with fucking Bang overdrive off whatever. 6k plus. Still 6k. So you want to learn your strong overdrive combos and kind of just like leverage and threaten Bang OD in a way that makes people really scared to like do anything to you while you have overdrive. Like Bang's overdrive is probably the best in the game. Like you literally just treat it like it's like Marvel X Factor that also locks out your burst. It's just a comeback mechanic in a game without comeback mechanics. As far as like pressure mid OD goes, it's pretty simple. It's literally just do overheads and cross-ups and shit. You can also throw in command grab if you feel like being a dick, but you normally won't need it. You will need command grab if you're in the corner, because if you don't have the cross-up aspect of Bang OD available, it's definitely reactable. It's good, but if you're fighting like Monarch, he's probably going to block you out, so you just command grab people in those situations. And yeah, that's pretty much it regarding OD. Neutral and OD is really bad. Can't microdash normals. Like, I'm dashing and pressing 5A, this is what I get. So neutral sucks. All your movement is counter hit state. You can't have precise clean movements. Your neutral is like bad. Like the neutral in Bang Overdrive is doing this and getting in, and if you don't get in off that, then you don't get in at all. Is how it boils down essentially. I guess if you want to like try to gimmick people, you can do this, but it's still not very good. Still not great. I wouldn't bank on playing neutral in that form ever. But yeah, I mean that's kind of it. This was a very rambly video. I just felt like making it because I felt like my old Bang guide was kind of dog shit for the where I've currently brought the character, the level that I currently have this character at. If you have further questions, feel free to like hit me up in the comment section of this video, or on Twitter, or on Discord, or whatever. I'm really glad to help people out if they have like good questions they want to ask, and they want me to sit down and talk about some shit regarding this character, this game, etc. Like matchup questions, really anything. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. We'll see what I make in the future. I need to make some other videos on some other topics, but we'll see what they end up being. I'll catch y'all later for now. Peace.